we are going to be diving straight onto Jagannatha LE. We're in the bottom left-hand corner map, swatting all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. We have the Red Zerg player coming out from the land of India. He is, of course, going to be representing Alpha X. He is Demi.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Jagannatha LE, we have the Vietnamese Zerg player representing his brand new team, Juggernaut Esports, or sorry, Juggernaut Gaming.
One or the other.
One or the other, one or the other. It is MeomaikA.
Actually, MeomaikA this time, not MeomaikA, not MeomaikA Lair, MeomaikA Uwu.
Yeah, they have their teams set up, or I guess their names set up here for them. I do apologize because we don't have a team logos mod at the moment. I should preface at the moment.
Working on it.
Yeah, they are working on it. I imagine we're going to get it in a couple of days. Hopefully by tomorrow's broadcast, fingers crossed. Or maybe even for later on tonight. As a reminder, today is the very first day of the DreamHack group stage for winter. So we start off with Oceania. Later on today, we go into Taiwan, Hong Kong, then Europa, and then Latin America.
Gonna be a long night coming out over here. But it all begins here, and I had to double check this slide, but now this makes a lot of sense. Jagannatha, obviously it was MeomaikA's map choice. We all know, or at least those of us familiar with the region, obviously know what MeomaikA likes to do on Jagannatha. Interestingly enough, he didn't skip out on the links to go straight into Queens.
Yeah, it's one of those things where he did open up with the pool first, and because of that, he will have a faster queen, but he still prioritized his lings. So there's a build that MeomaikA does in ZVZ specifically here on this map. He hasn't done it, I think, in a couple of months, but he whips it out every now and then, and that is to just rush out queens, walk across the map, kill overlords along the way, and ling flood. It's crazy.
Way too much. Well, he still is continuing to produce more and more queens, but it seems to be a little bit more of a mellow style coming up from MeomaikA. Demi, once again, wanting to play as reactive as possible against an unpredictable player like MeomaikA.
Yeah, exactly. As, again, we actually have a very fast Baneling nest for Demi. Oh my god, but MeomaikA, he gets into the main base. Yo, is he going to be able to scout this?
He should! Drone's trying to get a bit of a body block, but MeomaikA sees all. The lings will fall and they won't get any damage done, but they've already given MeomaikA enough information, which translates to power.
Yeah, exactly. So what is he going to do with that? Like, I would assume that he would throw down his own Baneling nest to deal with the Ling Bane of his opponents. But it's MeomaikA we're talking about, and he isn't the most known for his Baneling micro and his Baneling control. So regardless, I would expect to see something out of this.
Yeah, that we shall. Like a decision here from Demi. He knows that with that Baneling nest and with the fact that MeomaikA doesn't have too much, he should be safe enough. Especially factor in the fact that, you know, it is MeomaikA, as you were saying, not particularly known for his Baneling control.
Yeah.
Demi's just going to get 2 Banes and he's safe to expand. Meo, meanwhile, completely walling off.
Yeah, so this makes a lot of sense to me, that Meo would wall off on 2 bases. It feels a little bit, it's so difficult to take your 3rd base when your opponent is aggressing on you with Ling Bane, right? And you don't have a Baneling nest defensive one of your own, so it's so easy to just lose a 3rd base like that. So instead, he walls off, he's on 2 bases, he's taking a bunch of his gas, he hasn't started an upgrade, going for a fast 2-base lair.
That he is. Really keeping my eyes on those Evo chambers, as is Demi, but there are enough queens to chase away the lings. Demi, if he wanted to take a bit of a risk, I suppose could go for a bit of a Baneling bust, but there's no reason for him to give up his map control here.
Exactly.
He is the player expanding.
Yeah, and I'm really curious to see, okay, both players do go for +1 range. They both are looking to go into those roaches. Meanwhile, our eyes are on MeomaikA. Lair's about to finish up. He doesn't have all 4 of his gases, so this isn't looking like a Spire. If he does throw down a Spire, it won't be a dedication to mutas. It'll just be for 5 or so, just to take map control. But yeah, I imagine he's going to be focusing a lot more on roach speed, just because, like, mate, look how many queens he has as well. Oh my god.
Oh, yeah. And when you do have speed zones in the map, you may as well spend every mineral into making your units go zoom.
Exactly, exactly. Meanwhile, now that Lair is done, we actually don't see anything come from it. I'm like, yo, where's where's Glad Reconstitution? Yeah. Where's the Spire? Where's the something? We got it for a reason, right? Because
for aesthetic purposes.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be opposed to like Nidus. I don't know, like just to make use of all the queens that Mio has.
Well, I would never oppose Nidus personally, but
true.
It is fairly odd. I'm just watching MeomaikA's resources right now, and yeah, he's got enough to get Goliath Constitution, but he's just banking his minerals.
He's got more than enough, mate. That's the problem. We do see that Demi's being very vigilant with his scouting, but he just can't find anything.
Wait.
Meanwhile, MeomaikA goes for a 4th base.
What? His 3rd base isn't even done yet. This could be classified as a double expansion.
Yeah. Part of it makes sense because obviously his 3rd base was so much slower compared to Demi's, so he has to catch up, right? So when it comes to at least the larva. But yeah, I think he just straight up forgot Glio, by the way. Like, there's no way. There's no way. If
he's getting +2 range.
Yeah, if he's getting +2, may as well get Glio. Meanwhile, there we go. A Spire gets thrown down in the middle of all his bases, which I kind of love.
Yeah? Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be obvious for a scout. Obviously, will be a little bit more vulnerable to a run-by or anything along those lines. But again, MeomaikA shouldn't be making a big commitment to mutas. He should only be getting a handful of them to harass and not making any more from there. Probably won't even remake them if they go down.
Yeah, I imagine so. Regardless, what's important is that this has not been seen by Demi. Demi, he's just been playing this very, very passively, right? Just droning up, scouting, getting upgrades, rinse and repeat. He's just been chilling. And like this,
which I'm sure he's more than grateful for in a matchup against MeomaikA.
Yeah. I mean, mate, this is classic Demi. You know, Demi, he's known for his macro. He wants to get into the later stages. He doesn't want to die early on to early aggression. I am just concerned about this Spire play. Like, MeomaikA, the great thing about like this opener, he's actually caught up and surpassed the worker count.
That he has. Got plenty of larva as well. Demi's 4th base still less than halfway done. You're concerned about the Spire, and I am too. I'm more concerned that Goliath Constitution still hasn't been taken. He is actually getting a lot of Mutalisks. 12 of them are on the way. Ooh. It's a little bit more than your standard harassment force.
Exactly. Meanwhile, the Spire has been scouted by that changeling of Demi, so he should be responding, and his response is a roach push as he is zooming across the map. Of course, we do have an army here to defend, and yo, with these 12 mutas, yep, MeomaikA shouldn't die to this.
Yeah, it's also not the best concave here for Demi, but he's able to get on top of all of these isolated queens. They have so much energy on them. I was going to say, MeomaikA should be able to hold with Transfuse, but not when the queens get targeted immediately. MeomaikA losing drones left and right. He still has quite a number of them, but can he stop the assault from Demi?
It looks like he cannot, because Demi, he doesn't just break through the 3rd base, he also gets into the natural as well. Workers are going down left and right. Same. I thought that MeomaikA would be okay, because I thought the queens would be with the roaches, but they were completely isolated. Every single queen went down before, I think, a single transfuse.
Well, that is Demi's decisiveness for you. He sees the queens, he sees they're isolated, he pounds us right on top of them. That is a reason why we call him the shark.
Exactly. He smelled blood in the water and he went for it. Finally, all the roaches will be cleaned up and the mutas of MeomaikA can go across the map. But what damage can they get done? We already have a Hydra Den. We have spores being thrown down. We have upgrades for our Hydras as well. To be fair, we don't have that many Hydras, so MeomaikA could overwhelm, but he needs to do more than just overwhelm. He needs to get some workers, mate.
He needs to overwhelm until Demi is dead, and I want to be fairly optimistic here for MeomaikA, but the amount of queens there to soak up damage, they are going to be keeping those Hydras alive for a long time. MeomaikA trying to find some gaps in Demi's armor, seeing if there's an opening in any of these mineral lines, but he's just not quite finding them.
Exactly, like he's picking up a couple of reinforcements here and there, a couple of workers, maybe an overlord or two, which is okay, but it's not ideal. At the same time, he's trying to dive in with his roaches, trying to get on top of that juicy core of hydras as well. Can he barely break through it? Looks like he's getting on top of some of them, and once he does, then the mutas can swoop in.
Yeah, he's kind of breaking through. Only 6 Hydras left here, and the Mutalisks can absolutely fight, but it cannot fight Hydras with the Queens at the same time, or can they? No, they can't. They can pick off the Hydras, but they cannot sustain a fight for long.
Exactly. So just like that, the mutas do get thwarted by MeomaikA. He is attempting to catch up in the worker count behind this. He was joining up, but he's still behind. And he's committed to the mutas, by the way. He's getting +2 air attack.
Surprisingly. You know, it's been a while. It's been a while, I think, since MeomaikA has really been able to surprise us, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it's quirky. I mean, it's MeomaikA, you know, you love him for a reason.
Yeah.
And he dives in, there's no creep connecting the bases, so it takes a while for the queens to respond. A couple more workers go down. We did have a roach run by towards the bottom right, but Demi was there to meet the roaches of MeomaikA. He does get pushed away.
Yeah, trying to distract the army of Demi a little bit, but Demi, he knows he's got more than enough supply to deal with this. He splits off his queens to deal with the mutas, and he pushes forward with a bit of a ground force. MeomaikA trying to get some reinforcements of roaches in, but it's just not looking too good for him.
Oh my god, and the Spire's exposed because of the position, and it gets focused down. +2 air attack does not finish up, and now Demi, he's rallying across the map with his Roach Hydra, looking to bust through MeomaikA. Every single muta goes down, and there are not going to be any more mutas for the rest of the game, mate.
GG is called. Demi takes game number 1.
GG.
Wow.
Yeah. What just a solid game from Demi there, mate. Oh my god.
Pretty much. I mean, I like what I saw from both sides. I like from MeomaikA that he did something a little bit more quirky, something that, because we've casted him in a lot of weeklies, we've been able to catch a couple of patterns, and when it comes to his playstyle, this was something very I'm not sure if I necessarily call it fresh, but something I haven't seen MeomaikA done before, and was pretty nice from Demi, though. Absolute decisiveness coming out from him. That is what I love to see, and that is why we were so hyped for Demi. Looking at the close qualifiers, he didn't drop a single map that afternoon.
Yeah, exactly. Like as we're getting set up for the next game, Demi, he as you said, he was looking insane in those close qualifiers. Unfortunately, we weren't able to cast him. A bit of a feels bad man for that, but yeah, we're
making up for it.
Yeah, we see why, right? Like again, that was just. Again, solid play from Demi. Meanwhile, MeomaikA, he was trying to do something quirky, but it did feel like it was lacking a little bit there.
It was. Not sure what I would call it. I don't necessarily want to call it the execution. I guess something that doesn't normally happen with MeomaikA is he wasn't able to keep Demi guessing, if that makes sense, right? First off, he exposed the Spire pretty early on, which was a very odd location. I mean, on the one hand, sure, Overlords probably wouldn't go in for a scout like that, but you gotta consider changelings that eventually did scout that, or even a Ling run by or something.
Exactly. I think what's important is that for that entire game, like, Demi was pretty vigilant with his scouting. Yeah, and he did end up finding it in the end. So yeah, it was also kind of weird just because MeomaikA, he was investing heavily in his ground upgrades and still going into mutas. It felt like, you know, typically a player goes for one or the other, right? Not both. Yeah, interesting. Oh god, as we are getting our second lobby up and running, it is looking to be, it's looking to be Oxide, mate.
Ooh. Wait, wrong map?
Oh,
right.
Yes. Looks like we have. Yeah. We are going to be remaking. As this was a man.
Yeah. Right. I'm reading that now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. The maps are in blue. Right. That's what the highlight means.
Are you going to make the lobby?
Oh, I suppose I may as well.
Nice, nice. Oh boy, so we're getting set up for game numero dos. Hopefully MeomaikA, everything's okay with him. Again, we were talking earlier about how he had accidentally spilled water on his desk, and that's why there was the delayed start as well. So hopefully, you know, he's not feeling too nervous, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Definitely be less than ideal to play with some nerves coming on.
Definitely.
Hopefully that water didn't go into his keyboard or anything either.
Yeah, that's the downside of mechanical keyboards. Like any keyboard really, like it's oh boy.
Make sure our players are getting ready.
Yeah.
Game number 2.
Exactly. We are diving on in, and fingers crossed, like, for me personally, despite who wins or loses, I want this to at least go to the ace match. I want this to go the distance. But after game 1, man, oh god.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
This really does feel like one player was all over the place, one player had a plan. Well, I feel like MeomaikA did have a plan as well, and I'm sure it was a plan that gave him a lot of success, but not in this case, as we load into game number 2 here on 2000 Atmospheres. We're in the bottom left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. We, of course, have our blue Zerg player coming out from the land of Vietnam. He is, of course, going to be representing his brand new team, Juggernaut Gaming. He is MeomaikA.
And spawning in the top right hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE, we have the Indian Zerg player. He is red, representing his team Alpha X. It is Demi. Oh
as
my.
much as that's a gas pool, and that's a pool first.
Yes, Demi opening up very aggressively here, going for a gas pool opening. Obviously, with this, he will be able to get a much faster link speed or something else. Again, we'll keep an eye on things. We'll see if he does go for that. We'll go straight into roaches. Meanwhile, MeomaikA with the same opener that he went for in game 1.
Yeah, and I'm definitely optimistic that MeomaikA will be able to hold if Demi does decide to go a little bit aggressive with the link speed. But we shall see. Shall indeed.
Yeah, exactly. As with this, I mean, Demi has options, right? That's probably the biggest thing. He's gonna have options. He's gonna have map control as well behind this. MeomaikA, I guess the one advantage he will have is maybe, I guess, a little bit faster queen production.
Yeah.
He just has to be careful. He just has to make sure he's at home, and he should be fine.
Could be a little bit of a big if, though, here on 2000 Atmospheres. Map control is just about everything here. Pretty easy to defend on 2 bases, but on 3 bases, it's a bit of a different story. You want to be able to establish that map control as quickly as possible.
Yeah, as MeomaikA is going across the map with his 4 links. With these links, he's going to be able to scout the opener, realize, hey, it wasn't a hatch first, and his goal is to get into the main base. Unfortunately, he's going to be denied.
Yeah, single link here to help the queen in the body block, but the queen does go down to the low ground. Will MeomaikA juke this? No, actually backs away, and that's kind of important right now for Demi, as he does go for a very quick baneling nest.
Oh yeah, I love it. Demi just ramping up the aggression. Meanwhile, so is MeomaikA, as MeomaikA behind this has not droned up. He's making a wave of 14 lings.
That's quite a few, if I do say so myself. His link speed is still going to be a lot later than Demi's, so
yeah,
this will be a little bit delayed, but so long as MeomaikA is able to hide it from him, should be able to catch Demi off guard.
Oh, exactly. I love this from MeomaikA as well. He feigns going for a 3rd base, so this will distract Demi. In Demi's eyes, this is all standard. Everything is normal here. Meanwhile, again, 22 more links on the way from MeomaikA. Oh my god. And Demi, despite going for the link speed and for the baneliness, he hasn't made any lings. He's got 2 banes.
That may seem like not much, but this is MeomaikA we're talking about, so if Demi gets the perfect connections, then he should be able to hold, but again, we'll see how much better MeomaikA has been able to tighten up his link control.
Exactly.
You don't want to run head first into this Meo.
Oh, exactly. As he does split up, a little bit, but oh my god, no Bailey connection so far. But the links of Meo are so clumped up. Oh my god!
Oh, just like that. Half of the army got taken out from MeomaikA in the blink of an eye, but it was a very large army. Half should be enough to take out every single one of these drones.
Exactly. That's the thing, right? Demi, he was caught off guard. He scouted the army coming across the map outside the base of MeomaikA as it was on the way. So because of this, MeomaikA was still able to deal some damage. He's ahead in the workers. He wasn't able to end the game. And again, if that Bailey connection was any less, then I do think that MeomaikA probably could have just ended it then and there. But unfortunately, that was a pretty big Bailey connection.
Yeah. And that's some pretty big damage that Demi's taken. Thankfully, he does have the third base much quicker, though. He has access to a lot more larva. He can catch up and even overtake MeomaikA from this position.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, now he has the map control. You know, he's got lings out of the map. What do we have here to defend? We actually don't have a wall. Thankfully, we do have the cancel on the gases. We need a wall immediately, otherwise MeomaikA just dies.
Yeah, he cannot afford to get anything surrounded by lings. Especially a base. That's why MeomaikA's not getting a third.
Exactly. So he walls off on 2 bases. Unfortunately, this is also kind of obvious as well, because this is an Evo wall. There's no Roach, like Warren, in sight whatsoever. Demi should be aware of the possibility of 2 base Muto.
The likelihood of it as well.
Yeah.
Which, of course, is what we're going to be seeing from MeomaikA. As crazy as he is, there's no way he's jumping straight into Corruptors.
Yeah, and Demi is going for his own lair. Especially because we don't have any Evo chambers. Oh, no, never mind. I was like, yo, Muta versus Muta? Nah, Demi is going for the +1 range. He could be looking to try and... I was about to say maybe try and push before the Mutas come out, but I feel like that's going to be difficult to do.
It probably will, but... I don't know. I want to say that Demi's idea, his strategy, is going to be similar to that last game where even though MeomaikA went with mutas, Demi was able to brute force his way through with roaches, but I feel like if that's the case, Demi would have already been making roaches by now.
Yeah,
he
exactly.
Just started his initial couple.
And this isn't going to be fast enough, right? As you were saying, mutas already coming out. 7 are about to pop. And now move out across the map. There are a lot of overlords to deal with, and there is value in sniping them. He could try and just go across the map. Meanwhile, there we go. Spores are being thrown down. The mutas have been revealed.
Whew, thankfully. But I tell you what, like, spores do not care about zerglings, or vice versa.
They do not. That's why, thankfully, there are a handful of roaches here in position, just in time to thwart away, to push away these things. As, ooh, even the painlings roll in. Oh my god. Yeah,
MeomaikA a little bit late on the pull. Does lose a couple more lings than perhaps necessary, but the Mutalisks are able to get some value by taking out the Overlords across the map, just continuing to make sure Demi's playing blind.
Exactly. And we'll see if he can get more than that. Again, the Overlords are kind of a given. He does sneak into a base, and hey, he gets a couple of, literally 1 drone kill.
Yeah, 1 drone, yeah. Oh, am I getting that? Oh, not quite. Oh! There we go! 3!
3 drone kills, let's go. He has to be careful, make sure he doesn't lose any mutas, but this is what I was worried about the entire time. We do have a massive run by Lings. Oh my god, they're gonna get us surrounded to the queens!
How many queens has MeomaikA lost this entire series? Just because of how exposed they were. The roaches are starting to bust on forward. MeomaikA technically has a larger army, but where is it? Now it comes down, and it's mostly lings.
And it's too late. The 3rd base was cancelled once again for the 2nd time. The lings do get a nice surround, and MeomaikA will be able to clean this up, but he is on a timer because he's just stuck on 2 base economy.
Yeah, to be fair, +1 melee is about to finish up, so there's a lot of damage that MeomaikA can get done here. Demi, his queens are looking a little exposed, but now he backs them into a corner. MeomaikA has to respect them and every single one of their transfuses.
Yeah, interesting choice here that he avoids the queens despite having all those things. He could still go for the engagement, I guess, but instead he avoids it. He goes straight into the natural, going straight into the main base with his things and mutas.
Yeah, and once again, these are +1 lings. They can absolutely tear through a mineral line if Demi lets him. 9 drones, 10 drones have gone down. MeomaikA slowly clawing his way back into this game.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I say slowly, but that literally took about half a minute.
Exactly, just like that, in one swift move, 16 workers. An entire mineral line essentially does go down, and the Mutas still pose a bit of a threat. He has to be careful. Now we have more defensive spores, we still have a bunch of queens, so MeomaikA, he does dance in between them nicely. Behind this, third is on the way, it's about to finish up, and MeomaikA has the worker lead.
Yeah, surprisingly, he's still going to be lacking a bit in the larva, but pretty soon they're going to be even in the base count. I'm liking this a lot from Demi, though. Can't quite break the front door. Going through the back door with a Nidus.
Exactly, and what's important is this hasn't been scouted. MeomaikA, if he goes a little bit closer to the left, he will spot the Nidus, and then he'll prepare at home. But unfortunately, he doesn't see it, and as you said, there's plenty of anti-air here in Queens. They just need to get across the map. Oh god.
Where are Demi's overlords in this sort of scenario? I feel like he won't quite have the opportunity to directly go for a backstab, right? But there we go. He will be able to make sure his queens get to the front lines much quicker.
Oh, he sees!
Doesn't even go for any big marches. He does see, and he's trying to distract the queens a little bit, it seems, but eventually they are going to be loading in. The Lings don't get too much done, but they do stall a little bit here for MeomaikA.
Yeah, the problem is that even if all these drones died, even if this base died, it doesn't matter because the army is superior for Demi. Well, a couple of roaches could get caught out, but again, instead MeomaikA focuses on the workers. He will come back home, and can he deal with all these queens? Oh god.
He doesn't have any spine crawlers.
He doesn't. I think he has to just give up this third base. It's just not going to happen. He's
Again,
not
yeah.
Oh no, is he really going to try and engage this?
Well, he's thinking, but now he's made his decision. We'll see if it's the right one. I highly doubt it. There's plenty of queens and plenty of transfuse. The Muta surprisingly still standing throughout all of this. The third base is probably still alive. A lot of the queens actually firing on the Lings instead of Mutalisk. The roaches will be able to take out the third base.
Oh my god.
I mean, MeomaikA might be able to survive this. He actually has another base. So.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't believe that he would be able to pull this off because I assumed that the transfuses and the focus fire would be too much. The other thing to point out is that no drones came in the Nidus. Typically, when you Nidus your opponent going mutas, you go for spores across the map, right? Like, that's the best anti-air you can hope for. But we saw none of that from Demi. Instead, straight up Queen versus Muta, and somehow, someway, the mutas came out on top.
Yeah, well, I guess it does help when you have a nice little bit of a Ling buffer. MeomaikA still does have a third base, so he's lost 30 workers.
Ooh.
He's got a much better army right now, though. We'll see if he's able to take advantage of that. Has to clean up the Niduses. Doesn't want to be caught off guard a second time, but yeah, he doesn't have a lot of staying power for the rest of this game unless he's able to equalize damage.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, Demi made a little bit of a risk here. He did reposition all his spores, so this third base is heavily fortified. The natural, not so much. There's only one spore there. There are only 5 queens. The mutas, they just dive on top of the queens. Oh god, they almost focus them down.
And that's actually where the majority of the workers are right now for Demi. The natural base, I mean.
Oh god, the natural base looking a little bit exposed, and there we go. MeomaikA, he sees weakness, he focuses down that spore, and now the natural base isn't safe at all.
Wow.
Oh my god.
12 workers go down, but Demi didn't have many workers to begin with.
Yeah?
MeomaikA once again clawing his way back into this game. He has to be so careful. 3 spore crawls firing on this Muta Cloud at once, but now he's tightening up his Muta control. He's diving in, he's diving out. Demi going for a run by.
He is going for a massive run by here. There's no workers to kill though, unfortunately. He does get into the main base. Oh, he's going to get us around on the queen. A couple of reinforcing mutas are going to clean this up, but damage is being done, but nowhere near as much as what MeomaikA's pulling up here.
I can't believe they're uneven workers right now. Like
18 versus 18. Oh no, this one. Okay.
Well, this natural base should go down, giving MeomaikA a bit of an advantage. No, actually, decides to go straight for the main. Hard to blame him, really.
Unfortunately.
Spore crawler. 2 spore crawlers, actually. You can see that.
Yeah, exactly. If there was only one, then MeomaikA would just go for it. But with 2, he does back off. These 2 bases are relatively safe against the mutas, not so much against the Lings. Oh.
Yeah, but links are unfortunately for MeomaikA aren't quite making their way yet. Demi has discovered the third base of MeomaikA, so he knows that, yeah, he really does
The base!
to equal
The hatchery!
damage again. The hatchery gets so low, it doesn't even go down before Demi sees the writing on the wall. MeomaikA ties up the series sideways 1-1.
Wow.
An insane back and forth. It all came down to 18 workers on both sides at about 11 minutes. 11 minutes. Both players only have 18 workers. It's only slightly more than what you start with.
Only slightly.
No, yeah.
GG, well played. MeomaikA ties up the series 1 apiece here, and I didn't believe, man. When I saw all those queens going up against the Mutas, I was like, no way. But and I was really concerned that MeomaikA was kind of quote unquote wasting time killing all those workers across the map before he came to defend. But little did I know that MeomaikA, he knew what to do, mate.
Exactly. Never doubt. Every now and then I'll have a crisis of faith, and then MeomaikA will just win the game anyway, and I'm like, there we go. My faith has been restored.
Exactly. And just like that, he pulls it off. He's able to somehow pull it out of nowhere, and we are going to that ace match. That's what we all wanted here. Meanwhile, we did just get updated by the mainstream. That's, of course, we do have results from SC2 versus Quantel. It looks like SC2 did take the series 2-0.
Yeah, about the expected outcome, I suppose, but I definitely still had some optimism there for Quantel, our wild card for this season of DreamHack Masters.
Yeah, it's one of those things where for Quantel, like, this is the furthest he's ever gone before, so this is kind of like his breakout performance, and regardless of how well he performs here, like, it's already the best he ever has, right? Like, so he should be relatively content and happy with it so far. There's nothing to lose for him, you know?
Exactly.
Oh boy.
Hopefully we see more of him next season. Would love to have some more Indonesian representation.
Yeah. Regardless, it is just cool that he made it this far. I mean, we say that he obviously has another chance, right? It is double elimination. He's down there in the elimination match.
As we get into our ace match, of course, Quantel will be facing the loser of this particular series, and we will be covering that over here on ESL SC2B.
Exactly. We have 3 series for Oceania today. We have, of course, MeomaikA versus Demi, which we are currently covering, going into the elimination match of Group A, and then later on, to round things out for Oceania, we are going to be diving into Risky versus T-Ball.
That we are. As we conclude this best of 3 here on Blackburn LE, we're in the bottom left-hand corner map, swatting all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. We have the red Zerg player coming out from the land of India. He is going to be representing Alpha X. The shark himself, he is Demi.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner, bottom right-hand corner of Blackburn LE, we have the Vietnamese Zerg player representing the Juggernauts. It is MeomaikA.
And I only realized it as I was doing the intro here, but we've got MeomaikA on Blackburn, people. What's he got for us? What's he got in store for us today?
Oh my god, mate, it's gonna pop up. I love it. So for those wondering, we cast MeomaikA on a weekly basis on our channel. For those who don't know who we are the Cranky Ducklings. We do cast Oceanic and Southeast Asian tournaments every single week on Wednesdays, as well as many other tournaments. And especially on Blackburn, MeomaikA, not just MeomaikA, but a lot of the Zerg players love to utilize these gold bases. Are we going to get that here? Looks like we won't, unfortunately, but the hope is still there.
Exactly. Look, he made a set to get a third by the gold base. He made a set not to get a third at all. But I tell
Exactly.
you what, if you got the gold base, then you wouldn't have to get a third.
One of the most iconic moments for us, by the way. I don't think Yaku was there for it. I think it was for the Demi Australian Open. Oh, no, it wasn't. I can't quite recall. I think maybe I was casting with someone else. But
it's probably, yeah.
Yeah. It was when Chase went for proxy hat. He went for his natural base was here.
I remember that.
And
I
his
didn't
third
cast
was
that,
here.
but I watched the replay for that.
Yeah, exactly. Bearing in mind my camera location, it was the hatcheries were behind the mineral line, not the typical location
Both
for
on
it.
them, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Both on the gold base, his side of the map, and the one on the other side of the map.
Feels great.
And he was up against MeomaikA that game,
Yeah.
and MeomaikA ended up winning, but he said, I'm gonna learn this build.
Yeah, he's like, teach me.
I like this.
And I was like, no, Chase, what have you done? Oh my god, crazy, man, crazy.
Chase was using reverse psychology there. Like, maybe I can trick MeomaikA into doing builds that aren't good. But here's the thing, MeomaikA will do it and then find a way to win.
Yeah,
anyway.
he'll make it good, man. He'll make it good. Jesus
MeomaikA
Christ.
playing standard is MeomaikA probably not doing well.
Oh god. And the worrisome thing, as we talk about this game instead of hypotheticals, is that Demi went for the same opener. He went for a gas pool hatch opener. Because this link speed is done, he rushed out a Baneling Nest. This time, unlike the previous game, MeomaikA does not scout the opener. He does not scout that Baneling Nest.
That he doesn't. He's going for a big link flood once again into a Roach Warren. A little bit surprised that Demi is still being a bit more passive with his opening this time.
Yeah.
Or with his Baneling Nest. You'd think that on Blackburn, this would be the map where you try to Ling Bane across the map.
It's interesting. Like, I understand the thought process for Demi, right? Kind of. So his opener leads to faster link speed and faster Banelings. Because of that, you have the option to be incredibly aggressive. But instead, he's just continuing to be passive. And I guess, you know, he has the faster link speed and faster Banelings, so he has those advantages. So he kind of, like, makes things easier for himself to defend, I guess. But he does hurt his own economy whenever he does this.
Yeah, but at the same time, he is go for a bit of a quicker third base, I guess. Knowing that he will be putting his economy a little bit behind, knowing that he will have a little bit more trouble saturating his bases, so...
Yeah, I think this works great against MeomaikA just because, like, this third base is at a relatively normal time, and MeomaikA never takes the third base at a relatively normal time. So it's like, I mean, Demi's fine, you know?
Super quick or super late. No in between for MeomaikA, and sometimes that third base is a gold.
Exactly. Meanwhile, MeomaikA, he went for a faster Roach Warren, he skipped that Baneling Nest, and now he's just flooding across the map with his queens, with his roaches, and lings. This is what we were talking about. Blackburn has such a short rush distance by ground. Queen roach pushes are so common in ZVP. Mate, why not do it in ZVZ?
Why not indeed? Demi has scouted this with his overlords, getting a couple of spine crawlers, but they're protecting his natural base. MeomaikA actually trying to fight the natural base.
Yeah, he has to break through. He has to try and get on top of the spines before they finish, but it looks like he's not going to make it in time. The spines do indeed finish.
Well, at the very least, MeomaikA may be content by just getting that third base. Still, it's not quite... It's not quite the same. It's just ending the game outright.
Oh yeah, man, he's not content. He's down in workers. He is straight up all in here. The third base, that's the beginning, but he needs more than that. Desperately so. He doesn't have any Ravagers, unfortunately, so he has to try and brute force his way into these spines.
And he is gonna try. Transfuses get thrown down. The Banelings are moving forward, but they back away. They don't want to connect with those roaches. They want to get a nice juicy connection on top of Zerglings, but the roaches of MeomaikA try to snipe them as well. Couple of links break through, and they connect immediately with the Banelings. GG. MeomaikA hasn't done enough damage, and Demi will be taking that series 2-1.